in your mind are just excuses. When a Christian gives up on their calling, others will suffer. When a Christian abandons their calling that God has given to them, he puts people around him in danger. Look at Jonah. Jonah did not go to do what God called him to do, and it says in Jonah chapter 1, and Jonah ran from the face of the Lord, the presence of the Lord. It doesn't say that Jonah ran from the calling of God, because anytime a man and a woman of God runs from their purpose, they run from God's presence. Because God's presence rests on your calling. That's why Jesus says in Matthew chapter 28, He says, go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them, teaching them. And then He says, lo, I am with you. He attaches His presence to our purpose. He attaches His presence to our calling. I want to encourage each one of you, you have a calling as a Christian. Your calling is the same calling Jesus had. He came to seek and save those which are lost. Your calling is the same the disciples had, which was to bring the message of the gospel of the kingdom into all the world and to make disciples. That is your calling, my friend. That is my calling. You may say, well, this calling is only for the pastors or for traveling evangelists or people with a very outgoing personality. No, this calling, Vlad, is for the extroverts. My friend, the Bible doesn't say go into all the world, make disciples, unless you are an introvert. The Bible doesn't say go into all the world and make disciples unless you have a business, unless you have children at home, unless you are in school right now, unless you are very busy. That calling, my friend, doesn't wait, and people are needing us to fulfill that calling. One time somebody asked me a question, why would God allow people to go to hell? And I said, I don't understand. What do you mean? God doesn't allow people to go to hell. He sent His Son to die on the cross. He sent His Spirit to live inside of us. He has dispatched His angels to help us on our mission to reach the lost. God has sent the church to reach the lost. God is not sending people to hell. You do. I said, the question is, why do you let people go to hell? I said, God has done everything He could. What else could He do? What God has not done yet that He could have done? Force people to go there? I was like, He sent them you. What are you doing so they don't go to hell? And this person looked at me. He said, well, you don't understand. I'm just not a preacher. I'm just busy. I'm just a normal person. And I said, so you're making excuses. You have a calling. You should be making difference. You should be moving forward, but not blaming God that it's God's fault why people go into hell. I'm not saying it's your fault, but if we are doing absolutely nothing and people are going to hell in a handbasket, my friend, it is not God's fault. It is our calling. This week I heard a testimony that really blessed me, and it's a girl who translated my book into German, and she shared a testimony. So about last year she reached out, and she reached out through Instagram and asked if she could translate the book. I asked her if she ever translated the book. She says, I've never translated the book, but I would like to give it a shot. I really feel an impression from God to help fulfill my calling by helping to translate the Breakthrough book. It took a long time to get that book translated. Other people were involved. Last Sunday at this time, the day before Sunday, she feels the impression to take the book and go deliver it to her brother and put it into his mailbox. Someone who has been addicted to drugs for 10 years and did not believe in God. She didn't want to speak to him because she was afraid of him, so she just put the book in the mailbox. Next morning on Sunday, her mom gives her a call and says, please come to your brother's house because your brother just phoned me. He wanted to commit suicide. As they arrived to the house, turns out that the brother, contemplating to take his own life, went to the mailbox, found the book. He did not know who dropped the book, started reading it, and right there in front of his family for the first time in 10 years, he repented and he accepted Jesus. And instead of taking his life, he surrendered it. And she replied back, she says, you have no idea what this means to me. Little did I know a year ago, when I said that I'm going to translate the book, that God would use that ministry to save my own brother, to bring my own brother to Christ. I want to tell you something, my friends. We are all called to win souls and make disciples. Jesus said to disciples who were fishing, He says, come, follow me, and I will make you fishers of men. He didn't say, follow me and I will make you famous. He didn't say, follow me and I will make you rich. He also didn't say, follow me and I'll make your life great. He did come to give us life and more abundant. But the promise of following Jesus, the fruit of following Jesus, the consequences of truly following Jesus is not an amazing life. It's a life of meaning, purpose, and significance. The whole world is chasing one thing, how to make money. But Christ wants you to make a difference. Christ wants to make your life have meaning more than have money. Pastor Ilya shared last Sunday the first installment of the series, Hitting a Home Run, where he talked about vision. How vision gives us purpose and purpose gives us discipline. I regularly talk to young people who feel unmotivated, who say, man, I just feel lazy. I just feel like I don't have any motivation in my life. I just feel like I lack discipline in my life. If you lack discipline in your life, I'm going to tell you a secret. You don't lack discipline. You lack purpose. You lack vision. The Bible says without vision people perish. In other words, cast off restraint. Lack of discipline is a sign that you lack vision. You don't need to chase discipline. You need to get a vision for your life. And the best way to do that is to come to Christ. Because Christ not only gives you salvation, Christ also gives you purpose. And Christ gives you a meaning and gives you a goal in life. And my friend, that goal is not to just graduate from college, get married, have children, buy a truck, a trailer, and retire at the age of 55. That goal is not just going having a vacation once a year and pay off your home and follow all the 7 baby steps outlined by Dave Ramsey program. That goal is to win souls and make disciples. Come on, somebody. Ooh.